And Simcox and Steven, before we get to the wheel. I mean that one and that one too. So just saying.
Oh, you're killing it.
Some of them I didn't make. Some of them I did. But
Circle of life.
Yeah. All right, here's the thing. Jack hasn't been here all week, and he's going to come back next week and be like, okay, but
he's going to complain about it.
We could do it better. I'm like, yeah, well, yeah.
You aren't here, Jack.
Yeah. I mean,
just Jack on vacation?
He's been under the weather, poor guy.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
And then he doesn't work Thursdays and Fridays anyway, so he's gonna have a nice vacation of being sick. So, and nobody would wish that on their worst enemy, even though Jack is our worst enemy. Steven, TCU and Baylor last week, another classic.
Yeah, good game.
Okay, when TCU beats Baylor, it's usually not a classic. Like, it's usually, I mean, maybe it is for TCU, but it's not a game.
Yeah, it's not always a close game. There's been some blowouts.
I don't think of, like, when I think of the great games between TCU and Baylor, outside of, there was one really close one in Fort Worth, but, like, outside of that, there was
the walk-off field goal in 22 and McLean.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, that's the walk, like, the one, like, and then there's a bunch of where Baylor just didn't show up. The Jalen Reagor game was not a classic. Like, that was a really crappy football game.
Yeah, it was.
It was an awful football game. And it was one of those ones where I was like, can I leave? Like, I feel like I could go in any direction to another football game in an hour and be in a better one than this.
Yeah, it was literally just the TCU defense and Jalen Reagor winning that game.
Yeah, he had a punt return and one, like,
he had like a 4th and 1. They ran like a reverse to him, and he housed it.
Yeah, and he had like a punt return too, right?
Or like it was like crazy. It was bubble screen.
Oh, bubble screen, yeah.
And he like ran all over the field and just ran past everybody.
Yeah, he had that and that reverse. I think he also had a punt return that like
set him up for a field goal, maybe.
Set him up for a field goal, yeah, or like set him up to like end the game, like where Baylor couldn't get back in it, but that was like the three things that could happen to TCU on offense were just all him,
right?
But when Baylor wins the game, it's 61-58. It's 2015 in the rain and TCU, like those nights. And,
there was the triple overtime win, the year that Baylor went, that year with the rule that they went to the Sugar Bowl and lost in the Big 12 title game.
Where Max Duggan stepped out of bounds just barely.
Yes.
Well, I mean.
Some might say he was in. But, yeah.
Would you be one of the some?
I think he might have been in, but allegedly he was out. It was close. I mean, he was right there,
Yeah.
And I think the call on the field was that he was
out.
So it was one of those things where you're probably not going to overturn it.
Yeah.
But, no, there's been some great games. And I thought, I mean, Saturday night, a lot of TCU fans are super disappointed. I understand it. You never want to lose to your biggest rival. But I honestly kind of came away encouraged. I mean, I think both teams are playing pretty well, especially compared to what they were doing early in the year. TCU didn't turn the ball over. They had some injuries on the defensive line, and that allowed Bryson Washington to just go crazy. That was kind of my biggest takeaway. Is I just feel like Baylor was better in the trenches. But honestly, I think the biggest difference from a coaching standpoint was, Dave Aranda was aggressive. Like, not only on that 4th and 9 call, even though that's pretty gutsy because they were around midfield. Like, if TCU got stopped, in theory, they could have gotten in position to kick. But TCU had a 4th and 2 in a tie ball game around midfield, and Sonny decided to punt. And after the game, he was like, probably should have rolled the dice on that because we weren't getting stops. They kicked it, and Baylor scored and took the lead, and then TCU was kind of playing catch-up from there. But, it felt like that's the first time and I'm not saying these teams are as good as the teams that I'm referencing, but 2014 and 2015 had real stakes. Like, the teams were great. There was real hate between the coaching staffs. And this is the first time in a long time where it felt like the schools were kind of on the same level. There's been a lot of, like, TCU's down, Baylor's up, or maybe Baylor's down, TCU's up. Even last season, both teams were bad, but Baylor was in a much worse place than TCU was. And this was two evenly matched teams that I thought played a pretty clean game, and it was a fun one to watch. I mean, I hated the result, but, I think both teams kind of laid it all out there, and there wasn't a ton to complain about, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to tease, your top 5 is going to be the blueprint to fix TCU.
Yeah.
So that's coming up later today. But I did want to get your opinion on that. Emery, bring us the wheel. I thought this would be a nice new way to do it.
Great regal voice there.
Yes. Yeah.
She gets paid pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look, Emery might have Wally pipped you on the handwriting here.
Dude, he's the son of a calligrapher, so I don't really I can't compete with that.
Yeah. Okay. So Steven actually, just for transparency, Steven sent me these beforehand so I could research
We're
them.
ranking the best running back seasons of all time.
Yeah.
In honor of what Ashton Jeanty's doing at Boise State. And so it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not going to spring. I mean, Paul's knows sports. Like, he understands Melvin Gordon was really good in 2014, but he might not know, like, all the numbers. I gave Paul a little bit of a heads up, say, hey, you can look over these and get a better idea of what your rankings are going to be.
Yes. Yes. So here we go. Let's spin the wheel. Johnathan Taylor in 2018. Are we 12 deep here?
Yeah, we're 12 deep.
We're 12 deep. I'm going to put him at 10.
Okay.
Great season. Really love Johnathan Taylor. Wish he could get healthy in Indianapolis and play a lot more. I think it'd be better for the Colts. It'd be fun to watch. But I'll put him down. I'll put him down at 10.
This was also, I mean, during a run where Wisconsin just.
Well, there's another Wisconsin
running back here. There's a couple, but like Wisconsin was the school. If you wanted to run the ball, like they just had an endless amount of 300-pound Midwest people that could move folks.
Do you want to just do the Wisconsin running backs and get them out of the way?
We can do that. That's Johnathan Taylor at number 10.
Melvin Gordon at 12.
Okay,
I'll put him at 12. Yeah, still a great season, dominant, but. In the grand scheme of things, also, I'm kind of weighing like where their teams were in that, like how they affected the national picture. And most of these outside of the Wisconsin guys did not, so
it's kind of like Wisconsin running backs, sort of like Texas Tech quarterbacks for a while, where just like Leach could just find any person in a West Texas high school and be like, hey, do you want to throw for 5,000 yards next year? Because I could make that happen.
Yeah. Actually we're going to move Johnathan Taylor down to 11.
To 11, okay.
Yes. Because I am going to do something that's going to be very controversial right here. Ron Dayne in 1999 became the all-time leading rusher just a year after Ricky Williams had done it. And that was fantastic, but that Wisconsin team was so-so. And he stole a Heisman Trophy because Peter Warrick stole some jeans from Dillard's. If Peter Warrick doesn't steal those jeans, he's the Heisman Trophy. Garrett, am I wrong?
No, Peter Warrick was a freak.
Peter Warrick would have won the Heisman Trophy, but he had a 2-game suspension. And I would like to give Florida fans credit. I'm in the swamp. That is 99. FSU won the title. In the swamp for the last game of the season. Peter Warrick scores a touchdown in the game. In the Florida student end zone. In the swamp, which is a ridiculously loud place. And like they pulled the mast up on a sail up on a ship, it was like 5,000 Dillard's bags on like sticks.
That's funny.
Like waving at him. And we were like, touche.
Yeah.
Well done. Tip of the cap to you.
That's really good.
Yeah. But we won the game, and my friends who were Florida students were sitting in the Dillard's bags. I was on the other side of the stadium, as far up as you can get, which is where they put the FSU students. Also, my tickets were very cheap, so I'm not complaining. But I knew that was part of it. So a bunch of us are walking down and cheering, "It sucks to be a Florida Gator." And my friends go, "Do you think Paul's in that?" They've been waiting here for a while. And my friend Joe goes, "Paul's probably leading it." Like, do you know how many beers he had before we went in this thing? Like, at this point, he's sober enough to figure out what's going on. And he is definitely leading it. And for sure enough, it was like, as soon as it stopped, I'd be like, it sucks. And then just go again. Just me and the throng of people.
Both sides.
They're like, get in the car, jackass. Let's go.
Both sides were being creative,
Yeah, but Ron Dayne, look, number 10, all-time leading rusher, but again, did not affect the national picture all that much.
Where did Ron Dayne play in the NFL?
He played with the Giants.
The Giants.
He played with the Giants. Yeah, I'm sure he played at another place too, but he was drafted by the Giants.
Okay.
So this is a really tough list. Ooh, Tony Dorsett, 1976. Let's put him at 3. This is one of the best seasons for a running back ever. He was fantastic. Pitt won the national title under Johnny Majors. For Pitt, this was the heyday.
For your family, where does Tony Dorsett rank in Cowboys lore?
Oh, he's pretty high. My father, my mother, and sister were on a trip when I was in college with my sister's Girl Scout troop to Disney World. And they were sitting down at one of the stunt shows or something. And Tony Dorsett came and sat in the seat right next to my father. And they spoke the entire time. And my dad got a picture and all that. And my dad called me from a payphone next to the bathroom at Disney World or MGMC, whatever it is now, Hollywood Studio. I don't know what they call it now, but from a payphone, it's like, hey, I was like, what's up? He's like, I just met Tony Dorsett. I was like, aren't you at Disney World? Yep. Right now? Yeah. Your mom and your sister are in the bathroom, so I thought I'd give you a call. You were calling me from a payphone at Disney World? It's pretty awesome, though, huh? Yeah, Dad. Absolutely.
Have you seen him at the Super Bowl before, Tony?
Yeah. We actually 2 years ago we did an interview with him and Earl Campbell at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
It was amazing.
Awesome.
And Tony's got CTE. But he was doing well. He was really doing well. He's very friendly. I actually told him that story, and he was like, "Oh, okay." Not that he was going to remember it anyway, but it was 25 years, whatever it was. But I was like, "Yeah, I just wanted you to I said, I told him very frankly, thank you for being so nice to my dad when I know you didn't have to be." And my dad was just he was just the kind of guy that was, so jovial and all that. You couldn't help but like him. But yeah, it was. But yeah, Tony Dorsett, I put him at what, 4?
3.
3. I put him at 3. Yeah, I'll put him at 3. Yeah. Okay. Derrick Henry, 2015, I'll put him at 9. Big deal, awesome. And look, I'm married to a Titans fan, so Derrick Henry is, like a saint in our house.
Right.
King Henry. The saddest I've ever seen that family as a group was when he signed with the Ravens. And they knew it was his, I sent them the video of him, walking, through and, saying goodbye to all the staffers. And he, knew everybody's name. Mm-hmm. He's like, gonna miss you, Carl. Oh, Beverly, oh, God, thanks for being so sweet to me every morning. And they're all like, we're going to miss you, Derrick Henry. Other players are walking through you suck. You're here and he's leaving. This is not just. But, yeah, I'll put him at number 9.
Yeah, he was special, man.
Yeah.
And he's just built so differently than everybody else. There's that picture of Mark Ingram coming back to be part of the coin toss, and he looks like a child compared to Derrick Henry.
He's you want to ride on?
Yeah.
You want to ride on my shoulders? Come on.
And you talk about there's all of these guys are great athletes. Obviously, in high school they dominated, but Derrick was one of those huddle tapes or Max Preps tapes that you were like, this is insane. I couldn't imagine getting done with class and watching him play.
2016, halfway through his rookie season, he started very slow. Mm-hmm. He wasn't very good. I had a friend who texted oh, the Titans made a terrible decision in drafting this guy. He's big and slow and sucks. And then literally 2 seconds later is when he had that 99-yard run. And it was I don't know about that. And then from that point on, he's been a monster.
Dominated, yeah.
Yeah. No, I would tell you, just as a sports fan, as a football fan in general, a fan of humanity, I love Derrick Henry.
Yeah, great job, Cowboys.
Yeah, I love Derrick Henry. I'm not a jersey guy, but I tell you right now, I would have bought a Derrick Henry Cowboys jersey. Yeah, I would have done it.
He's special talent.
Mostly to taunt my family, my in-laws, but still.
Still counts.
Yeah. Jerry, did you not, like, get the memo that, like, this is about me?
I know. He should listen to us.
Number 1, Herschel Walker.
Ooh, all right.
Number 1. I thought about this. The one guy you left off the list, I was surprised was Bo Jackson, but statistically, like, these guys were all, like, ahead of that.
Yeah.
Although, you know, and I probably would have put Bo number 1 because of my personal bias of my favorite athlete of all time. But yeah, Herschel Walker. There's like 2 times, like Tony Dorsett was like the preview of Herschel Walker, right? He was this is what it's like. Not to like downgrade him at all, because I think he's great. I mean, he's number 3 obviously on this list, but Herschel Walker was like, Tony Dorsett was like when they bring the robot out and it like pours you coffee, and then Herschel Walker is like, oh no, this is it flying a plane. Like this is what it can do.
This is the evolution.
Yeah. And actually, you know, look, Herschel Walker had a very, like, his professional career was very up and down. And it's because he's kind of nuts. I'll just, you know, I'll save my story for another time, but we had him on the show in 2020. And then 3 hours later, he called me at 10:30 p.m. and spoke for 45 minutes straight about nothing. And I just was like, okay. I feel like I really shouldn't I feel like he might be in crisis. So I'm not going to hang up the phone because I don't want to read in the morning that something bad happened to Herschel Walker. And I've been like, he called me and I just hung up on him. But
not a lot of people have that story either. 45 minutes with Herschel Walker. It's on the phone.
Oh, look. It was some weird shit, man. I'm just telling you, it was weird. It was weird.
Okay, I'll ask you more about that after the show.
I'll just tell you, about 10 minutes it was about werewolves. And not like the reality of werewolves.
Not like the movie Teen Wolf?
No.
Not like, hey, I like this Michael J. Fox movie.
Why it would be cool for there to be werewolves and that there probably are werewolves.
Heck yeah, brother. Well, yeah. Herschel took some hits.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, he's number 1. Okay.
We already talked about him.
Marcus Allen, number 4. We'll put Marcus Allen at number 4. Look, this is the same season as Herschel Walker. Mm-hmm. And Marcus Allen only outshone by Herschel. He was I've actually, like, Marcus Allen is probably the second best USC running back of all time, and the first best running back is OJ. We can't really talk about OJ as a football player.
Did he do anything post football career?
Yeah, we can't really talk about him as a football player anymore, but Marcus Allen was the second best one of all time, and it's like this thin between the two of them. And the third best one is also on this list, and they've had a lot of great ones. But, yeah, Marcus Allen, I put him at number 2. So 1 Marcus Allen, 1 Herschel, 2 Marcus Allen, 3 Tony Dorsett, 7 Ashton Jeanty, although this one could raise.
Right, he's still got time here.
He's still got time, but what he's doing is unbelievable.
Yeah, especially, I mean, people don't run the ball like that anymore.
Yeah. No.
It's just, I mean, it's a throwback to a lot of the guys that we're talking about on this list. There's not workhorse backs like that.
Yeah.
And he's just, everybody knows what they're going to do.
Yeah.
He's just still finding ways to get it done.
I'll say this right now. I'll say it into camera. If the Cowboys draft him, I'll let them take me to the goalpost in Oxnard. Like, that's how happy I'd be. Like, just I'll go out to Oxnard. You can take me to the goalposts, and I'll sit there for an hour.
Clip it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
Like, I'm willing to put my, like, I'm out there saying, please do this, Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Who else is? You're just ready to complain at Jerry. You got no skin in the game.
You're not making bets.
I'm not willing to, like, are you willing to humiliate yourself so the Cowboys would be good again? I am. I will reserve the right to say that my wife will nix this. But I can't believe I'm saying this, but 4.
Man.
4. And
Thought this was
only
gonna be
because
number 1.
they weren't in the hunt like the other guys were. But 4, I mean, I thought about putting him number 1. It was an unbelievable season. But honestly, like, my 1 to 5 on this list is, like, really, really thin.
Okay, you did say 4 for Marcus Allen. So do you want to put Barry at 5 or do you want to flip-flop?
Flip-flop him.
Okay.
Yeah, Barry. Let's put Barry
Barry at
higher.
4, Marcus Allen 5. Okay.
Who was 2? No, Barry at 2.
Oh, Barry at 2. Okay,
But Barry at 2. I'm sorry. I thought Marcus Allen was at 2. No, Marcus Allen's at 4. Barry's at 2. Barry's at 2. You know, I went back and forth on him and Herschel, but Herschel, man, was really like well, look, here's the other thing. Herschel Walker changed college football and changed the NFL because before underclassmen couldn't leave, so he just left and went to the USFL, and then the NFL's like, well, we can't have this, and eventually changed the rule. But but also Gil Brandt was negotiating with him under the table for quite a long time. A story that Gil Brandt, may he rest in peace, and my dear friend, would tell you without
candidly, yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't. Like, it's not like a secret. He's like, yeah, we were talking to him. I don't. What the hell do I care?
All right, we got 3 left.
Okay, who haven't we talked about?
Reggie Bush in 2005.
Okay, Reggie Bush is going to be my number 5.
Okay.
Because that was one of the best seasons I've ever personally seen. As a matter of fact, until he made that stupid lateral in the championship game, he did nothing wrong. Which is, Lindale White was complaining about Lincoln Riley on Twitter this week, and my response to that is like, well, guess what, Lindale? Get a yard, and we don't have to deal with 2005 Texas forever. The Longhorn Network would never exist if you had gotten a freaking yard.
Yeah, I think my hatred from Texas makes me partial to those USC teams, and he was on another level that year. I mean, he was just insane.
Yeah, but I will tell you, like, Lindale White's failure to get a yard might have wrecked college football. We would not maybe be in the spot we're in
if he could just convert that 4th down.
if he had just gotten a yard.
Yeah.
A yard. At 250 pounds. Knock some people back, dude.
Ricky Williams, 1998.
I'll put him at number 6. Ricky Williams. My dad and I were actually in the parking lot of trying to get tickets to that game, and I was surprised because it felt like a reasonable number. Oh my God, Jack's alive. Glad he made it. So it felt like a reasonable number to me. Like the guy was tickets. My dad, Aggie fan that he was like, look, I'm not going to pay this much money to maybe watch us get beat. Like, that was his thing. Like, no. Like, I understand it now, but like I was almost 18, but like 17 years old.
You're like,
I was like,
shelf cash, Dad.
Pony up, Dad. Pony up. He's like, no. And again, A&M was the better team that year. Texas actually wasn't really all that good under John Makovic in '98. A&M went to the Big 12 championship game that year and lost to Nebraska. And so, or no, '98 was the year they won. Because whatever. But Ricky breaking the record.
Yeah.
We were at the parking lot of that game, then got back in the bus, went back to our car, and went home and watched it. And I was like, no, I get it now. I don't want to watch this guy break the record for the team I hate with every fiber of my being. So he's at number 6. I guess that would make LT
number 8.
Number 8. And that was a great season. It was a great season. I've come to know LT over the years since he's from here. And so I hate to put him that low, but I mean,
well, and also, I mean, like, I do too, but a lot of those games weren't on TV. I mean, the 436-yard game against UTEP, there's just like grainy footage of a few plays here and there, but obviously special player.
Yeah. By the way, I'd like to point out that, like, running backs are that important when you have them, is that Hall of Famer, well, not a Hall of Famer, 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 and then Ricky Williams, Herschel Walker, Reggie Bush, all right there.
Yeah, good NFL players.
Yeah, Ashton Jeanty not out, but the Wisconsin guys are all not Hall of Famers at all.
No, yeah, that's good.
So, I mean, Johnathan Taylor, I guess, would still have a chance.
He's had a good career,
but yeah, there's not Hall of Famers, but yeah, there's some Hall of Famers on that list. Reggie Bush had a really good NFL career. Ricky Williams had a good career when he decided to play, and then obviously, who else is in that not in the Hall of Fame? Derrick Henry's not a Hall of Famer yet, but he sure as hell will be. So,